Right now, at this exact moment, thousands of students are quietly losing marks on their Cambridge accounting exams, and they have absolutely no idea why. Welcome to this exclusive masterclass. I am your master coach, and today we are going completely behind the scenes. We're diving straight into the examiner's playbook to reveal exactly what it takes to absolutely crush the business entities section of your Cambridge Accounting AS and A-Level 9706 exam. We're not just reading textbooks today, folks. We are decoding the strict architecture of the assessment. Look, the principal examiner reports are ruthless. They tell us exactly where candidates bleed easy points. Today, I'm going to put a massive, high-tariff, 15-mark sample question right under our digital microscope. We are going to deeply dissect the anatomy of command words. I'm talking about the hidden structural differences between analyze versus evaluate and explain versus to what extent. If you don't know the precise difference between those terms, you're leaving an A star on the table. So grab your notebooks, get focused, because we are about to transition your brain from a standard student into an elite Cambridge examiner. Let's get into it. Believe it or not, mastering the nuances of sole traders, partnerships, and limited companies accounts for roughly 15% of your total marks in Paper 2. Now, I want you to really think about that number, 15%. That is the literal difference between a C and an A. It's a massive chunk of your overall grade, which highlights exactly why you cannot afford to just skim this topic. This 15% is the fundamental pillar of the entire syllabus. If your conceptual framework is weak here, it doesn't just cost you isolated marks on one specific question. It creates a massive domino effect. It undermines your performance across the entire paper. When you hit a 15-mark evaluation question, the examiner is testing your content knowledge, sure, but they are secretly testing your ability to navigate the hidden constraints of the prompt. We're going to break that down completely so you can lock in this 15% edge. Here is our strategic battle plan for today's masterclass. First, we just covered the 15% edge. Next, we'll hit the core business entity principles, move into the technical methodology, navigate the common examiner traps, and finally, we'll cap it off by mastering higher order evaluation. Let's move right into Section 2, Core Business Entity Principles. To really unpack these core principles, let me take you inside a recent digital study suite I hosted with two of my top scholars. We'll call them Alex and Sam. Now, Alex is highly technical, an absolute machine when it comes to formulas and raw facts, but struggles a bit with open-ended evaluation. Sam, on the other hand, is our creative thinker, amazing at building arguments, but often trips up on structural precision and timing. So we're looking at a prompt about a sole trader. Alex immediately wants to just slam down the math. Coach, Alex says, a sole trader is just a business with one person. Let's just get to the income statement. But Sam jumps in, wait, what about the risk? If the business fails, that one person loses everything. This is the exact debate you need to have in your head. The principal examiner reports explicitly state that candidates who successfully reference these cross-topic connections achieve significantly higher marks. You must establish exactly what a sole trader is before applying any numbers. Because there is a single owner, there are specific, intense implications for liability, capital generation, and risk. By defining these fundamental traits, like Sam suggested, you anchor your numerical analysis in solid theory. This unlocks the first assessment objective, AO1, knowledge and understanding. Now, as our study session moves to partnerships, the debate between Alex and Sam heats up. Clearly defining the legal and operational relationship is a strict prerequisite for any extended exam response here. Alex wants to just list the advantages, more capital, more skills, done. But Sam argues for a broader perspective. If we just list facts, we aren't answering the to what extent command word in the prompt. Sam is hitting the nail on the head. When multiple owners enter the picture, the dynamics shift completely. How exactly are profits shared? How is capital injected? What happens to the current accounts when a partner retires? The conceptual framework requires you to understand the partnership agreement as the absolute law of the entity. If the command word is explain, Alex's factual approach might scrape by. But if the command word is to what extent is a partnership beneficial for this specific bakery, you have to use Sam's conceptual perspective. If you don't define these specific relationship dynamics right out of the gate, your subsequent calculations will lack the context the examiners are actively hunting for. Finally, we look at the limited company. Understanding this specific structural distinction is your ultimate springboard from basic knowledge into complex evidence-based reasoning. During our session, Alex and Sam actually had a massive breakthrough right here. A limited company has a separate legal identity from its owners, the shareholders. Alex realized that this completely transforms the equity section of the statement of financial position, meaning the formulas change. And Sam realized that grasping these distinct structural traits is what allows you to evaluate financing options, like issuing debentures versus ordinary shares. This is how you unlock Assessment Objective 3, AO3, evaluation. You are taking Alex's hard facts and Sam's broad arguments and merging them into a high-level, justified recommendation that forces the examiner to give you top marks. Which brings us perfectly into Section 3, the technical methodology. Let's look at exactly how to construct your answers. Okay, before we jump into solving the absolute hardest part of this technical methodology, I need to pause our session for a quick second. If you are serious about crushing your exams and getting these elite examiner insights, you need consistent strategy. So right now, hit that subscribe button for the channel Ace the Exams IGCSE O&A levels. That's at acetheexam_IGCSE. And absolutely smash that notification bell. Make sure all notifications are enabled so you never ever miss a weekly Cambridge Breakthrough Strategy. Okay, you clicked it? Awesome. Let's get back to the masterclass. The examiner's secret to awarding marks lies in your systematic process, the method mark strategy, not just your final answer. When you tackle a complex past paper, you must follow this exact standardized 5-step sequence. First, identify the key elements. Second, apply the relevant principles. Third, execute your analysis. Fourth, verify your results. And fifth, present in format. During our digital study suite, Alex and Sam were drafting a model response paragraph by paragraph on screen, and they hit a massive roadblock right between step 3 and step 4. They were running out of time and their paragraphs weren't linking. The math was right, but the logic was fractured. I had to step in and explain the cognitive strategy to get unstuck. You have to talk out loud. We literally rewrote the flawed section right there, clearly showing the working out. If you make a mathematical error in step 3, but clearly document your methodology, this framework ensures you still pick up crucial method marks. Your presentation of the information must follow strict conventions, because poor terminology or missing annotations will cause you to hemorrhage easy points. Let's be real. The examiner reports are notoriously ruthless about this. You must use proper headings. You must use correct terminology. Don't write money when the correct academic term is capital or revenue. You must use appropriate formats for your financial statements, and you must use clear annotation. Watching Alex and Sam debate this was fascinating. Alex didn't want to waste time writing headings, arguing it eats into the clock, but I had to shut that down immediately. This isn't just about making your exam paper look pretty, it's about explicitly demonstrating to the examiner that you possess actual professional accounting competence. A flawless numerical answer presented in a messy, unstructured format will lose marks, period. Let's move to Section 4, avoiding common examiner traps. This is where dreams are made or broken. I want to make this highly interactive. We are jumping into an immersive workshop right now. I'm putting a 60-second visual countdown timer on the clock in our minds. Imagine a complex data excerpt from a past paper right in front of you. So where do most candidates throw away their grade? Let's look at the top 3 fatal errors directly from the principal examiner reports: ignoring proper formats, failing to verify presentation, and writing generic answers. Let's do a spot the flaw exercise. Imagine a student writes, "Partnerships are good because they have more money, but bad because partners argue." Boom, stop the clock. What are the flaws? First, informal language, money, instead of capital investment. Second, it's completely generic. That is mistake number 3 on our list, providing non-specific answers. If the exam question is about a local, capital-intensive manufacturing partnership, and you write a generic textbook definition that ignores the context of manufacturing machinery or the specific skills of the partners, you will get 0 marks for AO2 application. You must tailor your reasoning to the exact scenario provided. Let's deeply deconstruct this quote from the examiner. Candidates consistently confuse key terminology. Always define terms before using them in extended responses. The ultimate warning here is simple. If you fail to accurately define your terms before writing an extended response, your entire analytical framework collapses. This quote should be burned into your memory. When a high-tariff 15-mark essay question asks you to evaluate a business structure, do not just start listing numbers. This is exactly what Sam had to teach Alex in our study session. Alex wanted to jump straight to the calculator. Sam pulled us back and said, no, we have to define the entity first. We have to define the accounting principle. You must establish your theoretical foundation before you build your argument. That is how you prove to the examiner that you are in total control of the narrative. Section 5, Mastering Higher Order Evaluation. This is the summit. Getting an average mark is about following the basic steps, but securing a top-tier mark requires mastering higher-order evaluation. This is where we separate the A-level candidates from the rest of the pack. The assessment objectives specifically target 3 distinct cognitive domains: AO1, knowledge and understanding; AO2, analysis; and the king of them all, AO3, evaluation. Notice the massive cognitive leap required here. A basic descriptive answer just lists superficial facts. It's safe, but it's low scoring. A high-scoring evaluative answer compares alternatives and provides a strictly justified recommendation. This maps perfectly to the command words. Let's deeply contrast them. If the prompt says analyze, you are breaking down the data to find patterns. You're at the analytical level. But when the command word is evaluate, a purely descriptive or analytical answer will cap out at a low grade band, even if every single word you wrote is factually true. To hit the evaluative level, you must weigh the pros and cons, compare different strategic approaches, and ultimately make a definitive recommendation that is logically justified by the exact data you just processed. To consistently reach that evaluative tier when you're problem-solving under immense time pressure, you need to employ this complete 6-step deconstruct, solve, evaluate pipeline. Step 1. Deconstruct the question and physically underline the exact command words. Step 2. Extract the relevant data from the stimulus text. Step 3. Select your analytical framework. Are we looking at liquidity, profitability, or legal structure? Step 4. Execute the calculations systematically. Step 5, verify your findings. And Step 6, present your justified recommendation. By internalizing this specific pipeline, you guarantee that you are systematically hitting every single assessment objective required by the examiner, leaving absolutely no marks behind. To keep your technical methodology totally straight under exam pressure, remember this mnemonic hack: SPL, Secure Proper Logic. It perfectly mirrors the entities: sole trader, partnership, limited company. At the end of our digital study suite, Alex and Sam both shared massive personal breakthroughs using this exact hack. Alex realized that secure meant locking down the factual definitions first, slowing down the rush to the calculator. Sam realized that proper logic meant structuring those brilliant, creative arguments into a rigid, examiner-friendly format. When you flip open that exam booklet and the stress hits and your mind goes blank, just write SPL at the top of the page. Let it remind you to secure your definitions, ensure proper procedural logic, and logically justify your final evaluations. As we wrap up, I want to synthesize this entire masterclass into 3 core memorable pillars for you: the 3-step question scan to identify command words, the paragraph balance formula to ensure you mix facts with evaluation, and the last 5 minutes review checklist to catch presentation errors. So as you dive into your next past paper, ask yourself this critical question: are your answers merely descriptive, or are they uniquely processed, verified, and logically justified for the exact business scenario? Are you truly executing the examiner's playbook? Listen to me. Crushing Cambridge exams requires consistent, relentless strategy. You cannot do this alone. I need you to hit that subscribe button for Ace the Exam's IGCSE O and A levels at acetheexam_IGCSE right now. Turn on that notification bell so you are first in line for our future exam hacks. And go down to the comments right now and type your exact target grade. Put it out there, commit to it, and let's make it happen. Thank you for joining me for this explainer. Apply this framework today, and I will see you in the next masterclass.